May was an eventful month for global markets. Growth assets have been impacted by an impasse in raising the US government's $31.4 trillion debt ceiling. Now, whilst unlikely, the consequences for a default would be catastrophic for global markets. And in truth, markets have no way of really pricing in the risk of default, given it is unprecedented and the implications are somewhat unknown. On every single occasion since the 1960s, the debt ceiling has actually been raised. Why? Well, the consequences for default are simply too severe and would leave the world's largest economy in a major recession. Capitol Hill has always found a way to overcome it somehow, and 5 to midnight politics have always come into play. 1st of June is not a definitive deadline as well, and much will depend on US tax flows in the coming week. Moreover, if 1st of June is reached without a deal, it is unlikely to result in a default in US Treasury bonds, with contingency plans in place which would see payments on US Treasuries prioritised over other US spending. Turning to global growth assets, it was Japan that's bucked the trend this month and was the best performing region. It stands out as a large developed Asian market that should benefit from China's economic recovery, with an accelerating wave of improvements in its corporate governance. Turning to factor performance over May, it was the growth factor that was the best performer, with value the laggard over the month. Moving to defensive assets, both the US and UK 10-year yields have increased once again over the month. In the US, this was down to the debt ceiling negotiations, whilst in the UK, it was inflation that was the reason. CPI came in at 8.7% for April, and this was down from March's 10.1%, but significantly above the Bank of England's forecast of 8.4%. So in summary, a protracted impasse on the US debt ceiling is creating a lot of noise around financial markets currently. Now, whilst history tells us a solution may be found, investors may continue to see volatility until it is resolved.